Hello, everybody. So this is going to be the very first episode of a of a series that I'm going to be starting of my all the dream experiences that I've had. Not just dream experiences, but also interesting synchronicities as well. Um, and it's so funny that I talk about interesting synchronicities because one of the main individuals of this one particular dream I'm going to talk about right now is Leonardo DiCaprio. And I just hit record, and for whatever reason, I had the impulse to look at my phone real quick as I'm hitting record. And so that's what I'm doing right here as I'm talking. And the first thing I see as I open my phone is none other, hold on, none other than DiCaprio right there. Just a random meme. How do I unfucking, there we go. Look at that. Fucking light. Anyways, it's him right there. So this is I'm going to be talking a lot about him. But first I'm going to go ahead and describe this dream. Speaking of dreams, let's get fucking dreamy. Actually, we're gonna have this as a background. This is a portrait that I made here. Pretty fucking nice, right? Took many hours and months to finish. But not only that, this whole art piece was years in the process of visions and downloads. So I had this dream back in 2016, about September of 2016. And just a little side note, 2016 was a very strange year where it was sort of like the beginning of a lot of different supernatural phenomenon to occur in my life. 2016 was the year that I had a stroke. The day of my stroke was October 10th. So this dream I'm going to explain to you happened before my stroke. And it was in August, early August of 2016, where I started to experience a decline in my health and waking up every day with debilitating chronic pain and all sorts of issues. Whereas 3 years prior to all of that in 2013 were the years I was hit by motor vehicles on three separate occasions. Excuse me. So I in this dream, I am in this big like auditorium hall where there are hundreds, maybe thousands of youth around my age, some a little bit younger, some a little bit older, and we are just all in this big like almost like a big convention center. And then on the sides of the walls are elders, people that were older, and they were sort of like had their own booths. They had their own tables, they had their own booths. And so there's a ton of us there, and we're all there like, what's going on? Why are we here? What are we doing? You know? and and then I'm looking around and I see that there are some elders from my Buddhist community. Um, I used to be an active member of a global Buddhist organization called the Soka Gakkai International, which is a lay Buddhist organization that practices Nichiren Buddhism. I still practice Nichiren Buddhism to an extent, but I am not an active member of the organization for a lot of different reasons that I may touch on in this video, or maybe I'll talk about in another time. So I see some elders from my Buddhist community, and I walk up to them and I'm like, Jim, Noemi, what's going on here? What are you guys doing here? And there was a certain uh frequency about them that didn't feel like it was them. It was strange. It was like I was seeing them, I was talking to them, but their frequency didn't match to how I'm familiar with them in in the waking state of reality. So I was like, there was a part of my mind that was like confused, and parts of my mind telling me that they were imposters, but at the same time, I was kind of just going along with it, and they weren't saying anything. None of the elders were saying anything. They were just there, posted up, smiling at those that were coming up to them. So there's all this chatter going on in this big convention center, right? And then we all of our attention is focused towards one end of the room where there's a stage and there's a podium. And so our attention is being called. Somebody is making an announcement, calling our attention, and the whole place goes silent. And we look towards that spot, and there was sort of like a council of people sitting on the podium, and then there was sitting on stage. It was like a panel of people, but the person on the man on the podium was Leonardo DiCaprio. Remember, this dream happened like towards the end or beginning of September of 2016. It was before my stroke. So I'm I'm there and I'm looking there and I'm like, what the fuck is Leonardo DiCaprio doing here? And I'm not connected to this guy at all. I never think about him. I've seen some of his movies, but he's never like in my conscious thinking. So I was like, what's he doing here? This is so weird. And he's making an announcement to all of us that are there. I don't know how many people were there. This was a dream. So I believe that it that a super collective conscious of younger folks were brought there. So Leonardo DiCaprio is there and he's making an announcement and he's like, listen up, everybody. The world is going to end because of climate change if we don't do something. Okay. I don't believe in the climate change hoax anymore. I did years ago, but I've woken up from that dream spell. So he's like, listen up, everybody. The world is going to end because of climate change unless we do something about it. You are all here for a purpose, and the purpose is to save the planet, and we have to save the planet by fighting climate change. And everybody's like, what? And Leonardo DiCaprio, he gives us a time period. I forgot how many years, but he gives us a short amount of years. It was like less than 10 years. And he's like, if we don't solve all these climate change problems before this time, then we're doomed, basically, as he was saying. And he was saying, if we don't get it done, then there will be no more starseed incarnations on Earth, basically. We won't be allowed to come back and experience Earth. And so he says that, and a lot of people there are like panicking. They're like, "Oh my God, what the fuck?" And then he says, "Go to one of your elders and receive your workbook packet. You are all going to take a test." So I go to Jim and Noemi from my Buddhist community, and they just hand me a stack of papers, this thick paper that was like a test, and it felt so much like when you were in public grade school, those, what do they call it, the cat 9, the SATs. It was like it felt like that. And so I received the test, and then all of a sudden the scenery warped, and there wasn't in dreams like this, there's no linearity. So from there I jumped into a classroom setting where I'm sitting on a table with a desk, and I'm and I'm taking this test. And this test just had a bunch of strange, weird questions and things like that. And I'm just answering them, going blah, 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 blah. And then the very last question on the back of the page was the only question I vaguely remember at this point. It's been how many years? 9 years? Has it been 9 years since 2016? Fuck, time is going by fast. it's been 6 years, not nine. I can't count. So, anyways, the last question that I vaguely remember was like, if you had all the power and the resources in the world, how would you solve all these problems? How would you end everything and bring the world into harmony? I'm like, oh, I got this question. I got it. And I'm just flowing with the answer. I don't even remember the things I was saying, but I was like, oh my God, I'm solving all the problems right now with this, blah, blah, blah. And then as I'm writing, my pencil breaks. I had using a number two pencil breaks. And then I'm looking around. And as I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, everyone's still taking their tests. I need to finish this answer. So I need to get up and sharpen my pencil. And I look around and I see over there's a pencil sharpener, one of those old school pencil sharpeners where you're grinding it. And so I go up to it and I'm sharpening my pencil, and I just kept having a hard time sharpening it. Every time I was getting it down, I either like overdid it and the lead kept breaking or falling off. And I was just like, finally sharpened my pencil. I go back to my table and my test was gone. Everyone around there is still like zoned in on their paper and their test is gone. I start flipping my shit and I am like yelling in this classroom setting, who stole my test? Someone took my work. Someone stole my test. Who did it? I literally just got up for a minute to sharpen my pencil. Who stole my test? And I was making a big scene. And the louder I got and the more I was saying, I was like waking people up out of this trance that they were in taking this test. So I started raising cognitive awareness within this environment. And so as I was doing that, more people in the classroom were like, where am I? What am I doing? And then hold on, I'm trying. Let me try to remember if there was another part of this dream. No, that was it. After that, I was just pissed off that someone took my test, and then I woke up. So this was 2016. Now, in 2017, by the time of the spring of 2017, I started working. I got an internship working for a nonprofit in Portland, Oregon, called Opal, Organizing People, Activating Leaders. And this is Opal, I'm very grateful for so many different things and this organization and the people in it. But there's a lot of things happening, and not everybody is feeling it or aware. We're all in a dream spell. So this isn't personal to anybody that I've personally worked with and how my views and things change. So I worked for this nonprofit starting in 2017. I got an internship with a cohort of other people. This was my entryway into the nonprofit world and working as a community organizer. So I got this internship with a cohort of other people, and it was called the Organizers in Training Program. And it was very great. It was very valuable. It changed my world. And I'm with my cohort one day in the office of Opal, and I'll show you the organization, you know. So I'm with my cohort, this is the office, and they might even still have uh my biography here. Um anyways, I'm working for this nonprofit, and I'm hanging out with my cohort here. And he's the executive director. Great guy, great guy. These are great people. These are great people. And I'm telling them the story of that dream. I was like, "Oh, you want to know something weird? I had this dream a long time ago. Leonardo DiCaprio, climate change, blah blah blah." Remember, I don't know anything about this fucking guy or his life or what he's doing. Then a woman in my cohort, so like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio, that's interesting. Do you think you dreamt of him saying that because of all the climate change work that he does, and he has this nonprofit. He has this fucking massive nonprofit, you guys, Leonardo DiCaprio, that's literally raising millions of money, millions of billions of dollars, maybe. Um, uh, he's got this nonprofit, and yeah, is it gone? Huh. Anyways, he's got this nonprofit, and he's made movies in the past. And so a woman in my cohort's like, "Oh, is it because he's, active in nonprofit? Do you think?" And I'm like, "I didn't know that. I had no idea. I had no idea that he was this kind of a person at all. I thought he was just a fucking actor. He is an actor." And she's telling me, "Yeah, he's even made this movie called Before the Flood." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here." So, later that day, I go home and I start looking shit up about this man. And I'm like, what in the world? And then look, so what year was this? In 2014, Leonardo DiCaprio wins an award, a Nobel Peace Award for the Messenger of Peace, I think is what it was called. Um, yeah, Messenger of Peace Award right here. He wins this award from the United Nations in 2014. And I forgot what year he released this movie. Um, was it 2016, Before the Flood, which is a climate change movie. And I watched this movie on Netflix after I heard about all of this. So I go to his nonprofit, I go to his fucking nonprofit page and all this stuff. And at this point, like I'm really impressionable, I was 27, 26 years old. So I'm really impressionable. And at this point, like I was still plugged into a lot of the spin narratives. Trump was my enemy. I didn't understand any of the things that was going on. I just wanted to do good. I just wanted to I only wanted to do things that my heart was in it. And my heart was in figuring out how to not get members of my family deported, figure out how to stop pollution that's causing all this climate change, and figure out how I can contribute to social justice, fighting racial inequity and all that stuff. And so that's why I entered the nonprofit world. And so at that time, I'm like, wow, Leonardo. So I'm looking at him in this other way, because in the dream, he said like star seeds, and there was elders from my Buddhist community were taking this test. They told us we all have this mission to save the planet. And I'm like, oh wow, okay. So like, yeah, we're really here, and Leonardo DiCaprio, he's on our team, he's on our side, he's like helping us. Um so here's what I think, the fact that this was with the United Nations. Now, I don't know if this is all true or for real, okay, you guys? These are all my theories and like my psychic sort of remote viewing perceptions of what's going on here. I believe that when he received these awards and all the work that he's doing and all of the other people in their consciousness plugging into it, using technology, I believe that they emit frequencies to influence dreams within particular conscious groups on the planet, and that the dream experience that I had, whether other people remember it or had the same kind of dream that I had, the frequencies came in and they gave us this dream experience to sort of give us this prophetic purpose and connection in fighting climate change. And this is why I believe we're seeing such a strong, not the sole reason, but a contribution to why so many young people or younger generations are so zealous about climate change. And there's no logic, coherent reasoning with this. It's very, very interesting. Like I was in it. I was on ground zero with this kind of. I've worked for a number of different nonprofits fighting for climate change. And so what I believe with the United Nations choosing Leonardo DiCaprio to be the image, to be the messenger of peace, sending this message through technology, through frequencies to enter the dreams of people and to give them this kind of experience, right? Where because so I had that dream in 2016 and look where I was 1 year later working as an intern for a social environmental nonprofit fighting climate change and racial economic, equity causes. So here I am, right? I'm like I have this duty, and I got there unconsciously, There was part of my unconscious subconscious that led me there. And for a number of years I'm like fighting climate change, traveling the country, hosting all of these community organizations and things like that. There's a term called just transitions. I was a strong advocate for just transitions. I did a lot of fucking work, you guys, in like 4 or 5 years. But it took time for me to realize, okay, I think I'm in a dream spell, So that was the dream spell. Now, fast forward over the years post 2020, learning more information about the different kind of voice to skull technologies and frequencies and pulsing frequencies and 5G towers and dreams and all of that stuff. And if you've seen the show, the OA, the second season of the OA, it's really heavy about dreams, and traveling into parallel realities. And watch OA. It's fucking amazing, crazy show. So now the next thing I want to share with you guys is oh, what happened? So next thing I want to share with you guys is earlier this year, way earlier this year, you know, uh I go on to Disney Channel Plus. I know about Disney Channel, fucking horrible. You don't have to tell me anything. It's not my subscription. I'm not paying for it. Someone else's subscription hooked up to my grandfather's television. So I go to fucking, Disney Plus and I'm just scrolling what to watch. No, actually, that's not how it happened. First, I saw a social media post about a show that is on Disney Plus. And that's what led me to go to Disney Plus to look up this show and watch this show. And this show is actually from a series of books called The Benedict Society. It is called The Mysterious Benedict Society, and it's a series of books. And then Disney Channel made it into a television show that has only had 2 seasons. And I tried to go back onto Disney Plus. You see here, I typed it in, the Benedict Society. It's not on the show anymore. And I just started watching this year. And the second season was just released this year. I think it was the second season was released this year or maybe last year, not that long ago. So Disney said that they were not going to make more seasons and that was it. But it's not really normal for a platform, if they're not going to make any more series, to just completely take it down from their platform. So you can't even watch this show anymore here on Netflix. I mean, or Disney Gay Plus. Um, you can't even watch it, and they scrubbed it. So so now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this show. And I watched the entire first season. I didn't get to the second season, but I watched the entire first season. And as I'm watching this show, I'm like, son of a fucking bitch. This confirms and validates my theories about Leonardo DiCaprio, the United Nations using frequencies, one world order government, climate change, and specifically targeting the youth. Now, I'm gonna play to you guys. I'm gonna play to you guys bits from this episode here. Oh, why is the screen sharing paused? Whatever, I have to show it to you this way. All right, guys, here we go.
Most people care about the truth. Most people care about the truth.
This is how the show starts.
Ladies and gentlemen.
But most people, given proper persuasion,
The emergency.
can be diverted from it. Fortunately, there are some who possess an unusually powerful love of the truth.
What is the second least populous Asian capital?
Thimphu, Bhutan.
Correct!
Over here for a photo, please.
These are the people I must find before it's too late. They may be humble or obstinate, delightful or mildly enraging.
I'm told that it was a, quote, rude look from her new roommate that set Miss Contraire off.
Miss Contraire. Ms.
Listen to this right here.
You gave her a roommate?
These unique individuals are the only ones
The
who can
emergency,
save us
climate
from this
change.
condition called
These young ones
the emergency.
who care about the truth.
Where every day
Our minds are under
minds
attack by a
attack
clear
by a
plague and
of fear
anxiety.
and anxiety. These truth-loving people come from unexpected
Orphanage.
places. And in my experience, they tend to be children.
Okay, so that's the introduction of the show, all right? Now, here we go. So in this first episode, okay? So in this first episode, we see this young boy right here who's talking to his teacher in the orphanage. And so this kid, he's weirder than all the other kids in the orphanage. He's very contemplative, reflective, and very smart. He loves to read books. And so his teacher here sees him and wants to really help him cultivate, his intelligence. And you see he's holding a newspaper here, and on the newspaper there is an ad that this like elite school for the youth is taking in new students, and only the brightest of the brightest. And so to come to this place to take tests, a series of different very challenging tests to see if you can get in. And she's like, you need to do this. This is your way out, because it's like a boarding school somewhere else. So she later takes him to take this test. Now, I'm going to show you. So remember the dream, how I told you, first I was in this big like convention center. Leonardo DiCaprio is announcing an emergency, a global emergency of the world ending if we don't solve it in this short amount of time, applying all this pressure. Everyone there is all of these youth. The elders there that are supposed to be people we know in our personal lives have an alternate frequency that feels like they're imposters, not the real person. And we're then given a test, and then everything switches where we're in a classroom setting. And now check this out here.
You will have 1 hour. You may begin.
I really wish they didn't discontinue the show. I should have watched the second season before they
Given
erased
the
it.
speed of the two trains and the distance between them, how long will it take for the two trains to collide?
37 minutes, 4 seconds. But given the standardization of railroad timekeeping and the modernization of both warning and braking systems, hopefully enough safeguards are in place to avoid a crash altogether.
An elephant and a llama are falling to their deaths from a great height. You can only save one. Which?
I'd save the elephant, in hopes that it could break the llama's fall.
True or false? I'm usually right. Most of my friends are imaginary. I don't generally feel empty inside. Real change is impossible. Fish are unnerving.
True.
Do you watch television?
Not really.
Are you brave? Are you brave?
I would like to think so.
Pencils! I shall now read the names of the children admitted to the second phase of the test. If your name is called, report to the Monk Building on 3rd Street no later than 1 o'clock. You will bring one and only one pencil, as well as an eraser. Any more or less, you will be disqualified, which would be a gift, considering the academic brutality of the next exam. Yes?
You say to bring only one pencil, but what if the lead breaks? Will there be a sharpener?
Yes.
Right.
If a
My
sharpener
dream,
should
the
become
fucking lead
necessary,
broke,
one will be
sharpener.
provided. I shall now read the list. Reynard Muldoon.
Only one person passed and made it to the next stage.
What?
That's it?
That kid
That's
did.
it?
Okay. Now I'm gonna skip forward. This is the second part of the test in another building. So he already broke his pencil. No, actually he didn't. He didn't break his pencil. There was a scene before this that you got to watch to see what happens.
Very well.
Look at same fucking thing. He's sharpening it, pulls it out. He's like, fuck, like, why is this pencil so hard to sharpen? Same exact fucking thing that went down in my dream that I described to you years. I never knew about the series of books of the Benedict Society. I never knew about this. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. Leonardo DiCaprio, none of it.
You will have 1 hour to complete the test, and you must follow these 4 directions exactly. 1, put your name on the test. 2, read all the questions and answers carefully. 3, circle the correct answer. 4, bring the test to me. In order to pass, you must answer every question correctly. Anything less? You fail. 5, start the test. 4A. That was 4.
Now, from the scene before, she's... Anyways.
If you feel faint, put your head between your knees. If you're going to vomit, a trash can will be provided.
Oh God, I can't do this.
Head between your knees. If you're going to vomit, a trash can will be provided.
Now, I just want to say, because this next part is interesting in how to get the answers right in the test. Because when I was young growing up, I fucking hated tests. And sometimes when I would do those standard exams where you bubble shit in, I would just bubble in a pattern and not even fucking answer any of them. I did not give a fuck about school, okay? Especially in early on elementary. But as I started to reach the fourth, fifth grade, I started to approach school a little bit differently. And so from the fifth grade all the way until the end of high school, I was then in the talented and gifted program, which is known as TAG. And if you're in the disclosure community, especially around, SSP stuff, then you are familiar with TAG. A lot of the whistleblowers here sharing their stories were students within the TAG program, the Talented and Gifted program. I was in the Talented and Gifted program. And I remember that growing up in the Talented and Gifted program, there were tests where the answers were so hard for me, but I got them right because I just kept on moving on to seeing all the questions of the test and finding loopholes that that later on there are aspects to the test within the question has answers to the questions early on in the test. And so basically that's what I started doing to somewhat pass these tests. And this is what's going on here.
In 1885, the Kingdom of Serbia declared war on the Principality of Bulgaria after Bulgaria declared unification in the city of Plovdiv with which semi-autonomous region? A. Western Romania, B. Eastern Rumelia, C. Northern Albania. Where did the common vetch originate and to what family does it belong? Which 3 of the following 50 herbs can be used in a poultice for the bite of a jumping spider?
1. Put your name on the test. 2. Read all of the questions.
Thank you.
2. Read all of the questions and answers carefully.
The Brgova dispute served as
he's figuring it out.
To break
Okay.
out between Bulgaria and which
This is how I
country when
pass the
Bulgaria
test. All the
and
answers are in the
semi-autonomous region
questions
of Eastern
scattered
Rumelia
everywhere.
declared their unification in the city of Plovdiv in 1885. After Bulgaria declared unification
Okay,
in the
so
city of
remember,
Plovdiv, with which
everybody,
semi-autonomous
I
region
had
of
no
Bulgaria
idea that
and the
any of this stuff was
semi-autonomous
going
region of
on.
Eastern Rumelia
Now, just to be
declared
clear,
unification
just to be clear,
Despite having
when I'm
originated
sharing my
the
dreams,
line known
when
as common
these
vetch,
these
a member
types
of
of
the
dreams, and I'm putting pieces together in the real world to the dreams, in no way am I trying to declare myself as a prophet. In no way am I trying to inflate my ego to demonstrate to you my psychic capabilities or any of that kind of stuff. I believe we all have gifts, psychic gifts, being able to tune in and all of that jazz, all of that nature. And what I believe in the experiences that I've had in this particular dream that we're talking about in this video was an experience that of with frequencies that were being emitted within the super collective consciousness of the world. And so a lot of the dreams that I have, I feel is just my psyche going into the super collective consciousness and seeing things, having visions and downloading the experience or whatnot. Sometimes the dreams are a little bit different. Sometimes I feel like I'm on a spaceship and being put in a simulation. Other times I feel it was a hijack. We have to practice our protocols of discerning and looking for the things that can help us distinguish. Okay, was this a benevolent visitation or was this a hijack? And is this a dream spell or what is this? Is this the divine? Is this my higher self? Dreams are a very interesting, strange place. So again, in no way am I ever trying to say, I'm so fucking psychic and gifted. I had this dream. Look at me. Listen to me. It's not what I'm saying. So please do not flip and reverse and try to look at me in a way that I'm not. Okay. That's not what's happening here. This was the super collective. Okay. So now the next thing I want to show you. Okay. So there's more tests, right? Eventually these kids move on. They have to take more difficult, challenging tests. And all of these tests are not solely about testing their intelligence. It's their compassion, their ability to work as a team, their integrity, their devotion to the truth and all of that nature, being pure. These tests are to really see how pure they are in heart and in mind, and maintaining the integrity when faced with difficult challenges to achieve a desire that they all so deeply want. And they all so deeply want to be entered into this school. So they're being tested in so many different ways. Now, this is the scene of what I saw on social media here, okay? That when I saw this on social media, I think it was like a TikTok or an Instagram video, and I was like, whoa. Okay, we're going forward now. So this guy that they're meeting right here, so this guy, he's the person who created the ad and had all these kids show up to test them. This guy, he's like a very smart, genius kind of guy, philanthropist, true altruistic kind of person. And he wants to figure out how to solve the emergency and save the planet, but he's doing it in a way of knowing the truth of what's going on, that there is some nefarious stuff happening that is hypnotizing the masses of the people. And so he understands that the only way to really solve this is through young, talented, gifted children.
I highly recommend the pineapple.
Oh, we only have tree bark.
Don't eat that.
Okay, thanks. But no worries. After our fourth rise, we'll have a full meal after the orientation.
A fourth?
Yes, the fourth member of the team.
Please, not Dewey.
No, it's not Dewey. It's someone, what's the best way to say this? Someone much better in most ways, but in some ways much worse.
This place is ugly and smells like ants. He's disgusting.
Here we are. Friends, allow me to acquaint you with your fourth. Constance Contraire.
Actually, the smell might be coming from this guy. Heard of a toothbrush, old man?
But we've never seen her.
You see me now.
Yes. Constance approached today's tests in a, less conventional manner.
Anyways, she's special because she doesn't give a fuck. Okay, the dude. Weird.
I apologize for nothing.
But how is she here if she didn't pass any of the tests?
All right, to the fucking point here, okay? Okay. You guys can watch this on your own. Okay, I think we're getting there.
This is happening.
There it is. Secret room. It's 11:11 right now. I just got a message on 11:11.
The emergency.
Listen to this, people.
I'm sure you've heard of it.
How could we not have?
Of course. And I'm convinced that this emergency that has everyone so anxious, so distracted, that is threatening to tear our society apart is a fiction created by one person. What?
Who?
We don't know. We don't know, but this,
Disgraceful machinator?
That's what?
Machinator?
They work in the shadows.
Well, then how?
By sending secret Undetectable messages designed to distract us, designed to scare us, divide us. Oh, and this sender is perfecting a system.
Which does what?
It's a sort of mass hypnosis that will enable this sender to do virtually anything.
How do we know you're telling the truth?
You don't. We only just met. And look at you. Look at you. You're smart, sensitive, intuitive children who have every right to question me. Oh, but I'm counting on the idea that you can already sense the truth, and you care enough to do something about it.
Listen to these people.
Please hear me. You are needed. I know this world has made you feel unwanted, abandoned, angry, but it needs you desperately. It doesn't know it, but your unique talents can save it from this coming storm. The truth is, our world may never appreciate you or see what makes you special, but I see it. I see hope. And even if you decide to not choose this mission, oh, I feel so honored to have crossed paths with such brilliant children. Thank you for the time.
Needed?
Yes.
There's that hook. Needed. We need you. You're the only way to save the planet.
What's happening? What's the alarm for?
Hold on.
Your responsibilities seem to have begun quicker than we thought.
Ah, dang it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to go to the next episode. Hopefully, the next episode is also here. Ah, shit, man. This is the whole point of the dream. Here we go. Here we go.
We suffer under something called the...
Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Okay.
I believe one person is creating the emergency. This is how. Question. Do you feel anything?
My stomach is a little upset.
Interesting. That's actually a side effect for the very sensitive. Number 2 and Rhonda, please engage the receivers. Thank you. Now, it looks normal, but listen to what's underneath.
The missing aren't missing. They're only departed. Poison apples. Friendly massage. Pardon possession. A walk on the shore. See you next time. Brush your teeth and kilometers.
What were those?
Those are the hidden messages that are being broadcast on every TV and radio, and they are infecting our minds without us even knowing they're there. The emergency is caused by subliminal messages.
Manipulation sub rosa.
Yes. It's taken a long time for me to put this together. The sender of these messages is putting our psyches under siege.
Why would someone do that?
When people are anxious or frightened, they're more susceptible to suggestion. They panic, they turn on each other. I mean, look how people are treating each other now. Aggressive, suspicious, unkind.
It's all part of the plan.
We are being softened up.
That sounds bad.
It is. These messages are increasing in frequency and getting stronger. Our society is fragile and so much closer to the breaking point than we've ever been. And almost no one is aware enough to fight it.
Why are those children's voices?
People aren't naturally suspicious of children. Your voices don't trigger our defenses. Using children to send the messages makes them virtually undetectable.
Shouldn't you just, I don't know, call the cops?
Wish it were that easy.
You have a phone, right?
But the government agencies that could have helped have been dismantled. You have to understand me. Good women and men who worked for them have gone missing.
But you've got the evidence.
Oh, Rainey. Proof is useless unless it's proof of something people already want to believe. And I'm afraid no one wants to believe this. However,
Just, I don't know.
you have proof is useless unless it's proof
Do that
of
one more
something
time.
people already want to believe. And I'm afraid no one wants to believe this. However, I have finally discovered where the messages are coming from. The Learning Institute for
He
Veritas
just gave us
and
the
Enlightenment.
proof right here.
You mean the school
And
out in Harbor
who knows
Island?
how many people have seen this show or
That
read the
is where the
book,
sender must be.
and we can see the
That is
parallels
where your
of
mission lies.
the plot and the
What makes you
story
think
of what
that
this
4 kids can
show
stop
and
all of this?
these book series are
Not
written
just
about.
kids.
It's the
4
truth.
extraordinary
This-
kids.
we have enough evidence, and no one
And
cares.
yes, I believe you can. In fact, I believe you're the only ones who can. It has been a long night. Well, too long, actually. I suggest we get some sleep. Yes. We can go over the plan in the morning. Number 2 and Rhonda, would you please show our friends?
Right.
Okay. There's one last part of this dream that I have to show you guys. This is a weird YouTube account that I'm on right now looking for these videos. This is very, very weird YouTube channel that I'm on right now.
No defined goals. None at all.
It's definitely a lot weirder than
So now those 4 kids
is
have
like
made
a
it to
cult.
that school.
It
And this
is.
is the school,
And we
like the
can't
top
get
of the
accepted.
top.
I'm not much of a joiner, so I'll be okay.
We don't have to be in the cult to become messengers. How do you know that? We don't even know what messengers do.
Rainey, what are you looking at?
Hey, remember Lindsay? The girl with the hair? She was just made a messenger. I'm going in.
Kate, wait. That's just reckless.
Hey, Lindsay! I'm Kate. Congratulations on the big promotion.
Oh, thanks. It's just, believe in myself, a lot of hard work.
Cool. What kind of work exactly?
Well,
Hey! Messengers don't talk about messenger business with non-messengers. If you weren't so green, you'd know that, Lindsay.
Sorry, Martina. I didn't know messenger business was so top secret.
Well, there's a lot of stuff you don't know. Oceans of stuff. Deserts. Mountains.
Well, I cracked it.
Kate, you really should be more careful.
I've also been thinking.
We should start hanging out with other people here, too. You know, make some friends, find out what they know.
How?
If people always say stuff.
Pardon, possession, a walk on the shore.
Constance, are you all right? Can't hear the voice? What voice?
See what's happening. She's the sensitive one in the group.
Trifle, toxicity.
Fine. Look away from me.
Wait. What? Do you hear something too? I know who that is. He looks so different out of a suit, but that's Mr. Bloom.
You're still in the dark here. Bloom?
Mr. Bloom?
Remember the other part of the dream?
It's me, Randy
Elders
Muldoon,
were there.
from Stonetown Orphanage. Do you remember me?
I have no idea who you are, nor do I know a Mr. Bloom.
You're Mr. Bloom. That's you.
I think I'd know if that was my name.
Okay, and then remember the part in the dream I told you when we were in the convention and there's all these young people, but then there were elders, and I go up to the elder and I'm like, something's not right here with you, you know? That's a similar aspect to that dream. The kid sees someone he knows, an elder is going up to him. He's like, hey, what up? And he's just like, you know. Bear with me, okay? There's a few more things I want to show you, or else this video that I'm making is going to be incomplete with my entire theory here. Okay. Gosh. Yeah, not all the episodes are on here either. Only a few episodes are on this yeah, you know, I don't have time to. Okay, so let's watch this recap here together, okay?
With this sash comes all the privileges of a messenger. Wear them with pride.
I think George Washington.
So those two make it to the
outfit.
messenger
It's
group.
a joke, but this was the goal. Being a messenger gets us access and information.
The Morse code has been compromised. Thankfully, not before they could warn us.
Someone's approaching.
I'm Rainey Muldoon's teacher from the Stonetown Orphanage.
My name is Nicholas Benedict. These are my associates, number 2.
Where is Rainey?
He's in school, just not the one you expected.
The man behind this is a master manipulator. He is very real, and he's also my brother.
This is all such a blatant disregard for the safety of Rainey and his companions.
This gallery contains my most prized invention, the Whisperer.
I can hear George Washington. Missing. Aren't missing.
They're only departed.
Sticky just went to messenger duty. That's what it is. The voices you've been hearing, they're messengers.
These testing protocols are just wasting time. Fast track all of it. Both Farm and Forest need to be ready tomorrow for a trial run.
We have to figure out a way to disable the Whisperer without getting caught.
Okay, what's the plan?
Okay.
We'll exfiltrate the children at first light.
What? What?
Okay, that's it for now. It was nice that we just watched the recap. So in the school, certain kids get to become messengers. And remember, Leonardo DiCaprio was the chosen messenger of peace. As these kids are in this school with the mission to figure out how the signals are being broadcasted from that place that is hypnotizing the whole world to be in a panic of this state of emergency, there's this big tower in the school, and the kids believe that the frequencies are coming from this big tower, that no one is allowed to go in there except for the messengers. So those two boys, they get promoted to be messengers. They're very smart kids. And their first time going into being a messenger, you see that they were kind of blindfolded. You know, they were sort of blindfolded as they're walking in here. See that? So these two other kids here that are also messengers, they take them through the forest and into accessing the Whisperer that's on the campus through an underground access point in the forest of the island of the school. So here we have abduction, blindfold, into the forest, into the park, underground tunnel access, and then brought into this tower. Now, then the man explains to him that, this is my most prized creation, the Whisperer. And so what the messengers get to do is they get to sit on this chair where this is like a massive AI computer that is connected to the super consciousness of the world and can emit frequencies. So a helmet comes down from here and lands on your head, sits on your head, and starts talking to you in your mind and asks you to say things. And one of the things that he says is that the missing aren't missing, they are only departed, and other stuff, right? So these are frequencies that are getting projected out into the whole world and into the minds of others. Now, there's a part in this show, in one of these episodes, where this man has one of the kids saying these things about like a blue hat or whatever. And then we see later on in the show that like hundreds of people rush to their local fashion store to buy this random hat. And so this is just that was sort of a test to see how strong the influences are into the minds of the sleeping people. And later on, in different dreams that I've had, I've experienced sort of this. Okay, so if you are familiar with MK Ultra and the Super Soldier program and that sort of thing, then you are familiar with the term the trip chair. Okay, the trip chair. Let me see if I have a picture of it. I don't think I have a picture of it, but let me show you the trip chair. Okay, I know where I do have it. Bear with me. Bear with me. So the trip chair is a chair that you sit on when you're being MK Ultra and programmed. You've seen it in movies like Clockwork Orange, that sort of stuff. Okay, I'm going to show you. Okay, now this is a video I made on my YouTube a long time ago. So these are drawings that I've channeled over the years, okay? And I'm just kind of showing you guys some of these drawings. Okay, these are channeled art. This is all channeled artwork. You can see in my background. Okay, here we go. That's the trip chair, all right? And look at this all white space sitting on the chair here, okay? This is the trip chair being in the all white space. And look at where they are here and look at this chair. Okay? I drew this, what I'm showing you here right now. I drew this in 2016. The end of 2016. Maybe the end of 2017. 2016, 2017. I drew this, okay? I hope all of this stuff is going to be shown here to you guys, because the last time I made a video using my Zoom like this, it wasn't showing you guys all the different things, but here we go. So you see the same thing, this white space in the chair, okay? And emitting out these frequencies. Going back to my dream and what I believe happened in that dream experience. Okay, I believe that this is what they're doing to a lot of people, and they've been doing this with the technologies like HARP and other frequency weapons and technology. I believe that dream experience that I had was me tapping into the super collective consciousness and riding a wave that was being emitted through technologies where I was sucked in to experience aspects of this dream here, aspects of this dream that was also intertwined with super collective conscious stuff. So that's it for the dream. If you're watching this, that's fucking cool. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or if you've experienced similar things around the topics of this dream, please drop a comment, share this video, because I want people to really understand that this is not a joke. Like, the accuracy of how many things happened in my dream that I remember very clearly actually here in the real world through a various of different things. I did not know anything about Leonardo DiCaprio and his activism within climate change and his nonprofit. I did not know he became a messenger of peace, being awarded a Nobel Prize from the United Nations. I did not know he made this movie, I think, what was it called? Before the Flood, okay? Which is all fear mongering. It's all fear mongering. It's the emergency, okay? I never heard of this series of books, The Benedict Society. I never watched the series until this year. And all of the things that I theorized of how this has been working through frequencies and then the dreams and the dream spells and the hypnotic of the collective consciousness, all those things are being checked here. And I showed you everything in this video. And, check out this art piece here. Pretty fucking cool. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank you again for watching this. And I'm going to continue to make more videos about my dreams and interweaving them with crazy weird shit like this, because this is fucking crazy. And we need to all know. I mean, I know a lot of you guys, I'm preaching to the choir, but how many of us are actually showing each other exactly what our experiences are in the way that I just showed you? Because I think that this is important and it's going to help us. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just doing this because I just want to talk and hear myself and be like, look at me and these crazy cool experiences and synchronicities I have. Maybe it's a little bit of everything. Whatever the case, I don't fucking care. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing what I feel called to do. And that's what we all need to be doing right now. Because whether, anyways, I got to reel in my channels because I can go in channel mode and just start. That's it.